Do you want to stop attracting toxic people, narcissistic partners, narcissistic coworkers, bosses, etc.? And if this is you, I recommend that you watch this video until the very end. I'm going to share with you today one of the most important messages that I could ever share with you regarding power dynamics, your own sense of your power as a woman, as a goddess, and how you can stop attracting narcissistic partners, people who abuse power in general, by explaining to you things that are happening in the spiritual realm, subconsciously, and the etheric realm as well. We're also going to bring it down to your everyday life. This is an opportunity for you to learn new things, okay? We're going to address a lot of the feminine shadow. We're going to address a lot of shadow in general. What is shadow? The unconscious of the human psyche. And I'm going to be sharing with you at a spiritual level. I don't want you to see it just as esoteric information that is like in la la land that doesn't reflect in your everyday life. I want you to see how this reflects on your everyday life, because we are both, we're soul, we're spirit, we are the ego, we are our identity, we are human being, and all of those things connect, and it reflects in our outer reality, okay? So if you are somebody who feels like you dated a narcissistic partner, if you are somebody who feels like after you worked in a really toxic work environment, or you had narcissistic or abusive parents, etc., you feel like you don't totally feel like yourself anymore. You don't feel like you have that zest, that vibrancy. You want to regain your power. You want to live your most authentic life. You want to live how is it that people say it nowadays? You want to live your highest timeline, okay? Then make sure that you watch this video until the very end. This is the most important video that I'm going to share with you in regards to your power, to your life, to living a happy life. You would benefit enormously by learning this and by applying it in your life. I mean it, okay? So don't sleep on this video. It also comes with a key opportunity that I'm not going to be offering again, simply because what I'm sharing, I know this is going to sound so big, but it's really so big. And I have the capacity to teach it now, to show it now, to help you on it now, okay? So this is all going to make sense towards the end of the video. Everything is going to line up. And so yeah, don't put it like a defense. Is she going to sell me something? No, this is for the people who know me. For the people who don't know me, I'm really offering you a unique opportunity to work on your power, to believe in yourself. So we're going to talk about power dynamics, and how it specifically relates to women. As we've been taught actually that we are quote unquote like the weakest link in a way, like, or physically we have the least amount, of quote unquote of strength. Okay, so we want to know how to protect ourselves psychically, spiritually, and in our everyday life. Who am I? My name is Nicole Elissa. I am an intuitive love coach. Love coach, right? You would think, what is a love coach talking about these things? Well, because one of the areas where there's most abuse of power is in love. So my goal is to help you truly feel confident, feel supported, feel loved in your relationships, have relationships where nobody is trying to abuse power or trying to take your power away from you, or you are not trying to take power away from somebody else unconsciously. This is for you if you really want change. So some of what I'm going to say today might challenge you, but I pray, and some of you might not want to hear it because that's one of our defense mechanisms, but I pray that you can hear it if you really want change. If you've been praying for change, I pray that you can hear what I'm saying, and that you not only you can hear it, but you can receive it. I'm going to share, starting with the way in which we live in this world, getting at least a 35 to an 85% of our dynamics comes from an awareness of scarcity. We're not feeling powerful on the inside, and we feel like we have to either take power from somebody to be seen, to be noticed, to be acknowledged, to be considered. I don't even know why I'm getting this image, because I'm an intuitive too, and I get this information from the angels of love, and they're guiding me. Actually, the angel that's really guiding me right now is Archangel Michael, who's the archangel of protection. So he's pointing to me back when we were like, quote unquote back, but when there were like a lot of wars, right? We learned, and I'm getting it's a lot of it's in our DNA, like we have to survive, we have to take power to survive. And these dynamics, and we are trying to find a sense of our power, both in the sense of men, having a sense of, I'm hearing hierarchy of power, like they're in control, like they're this, you know, like I'm getting like the best. And they, in a way, some of the relationship energy has to do with having even power over their woman, because they see the women all kind of like a threat in a way. So they have to subdue a woman's power, okay? On the other hand, for all the years that women have been subdued by this energy or by other energies, because we've been taught to compete, then we feel like we have a lack of sense of self. We have to compete. We have to overpower over women. Basically, energetically and consciously, what's happening is that somewhere in our energy, we feel like we have to fight. And how does this translate in our shrink or please or fawn? Our defense mechanisms are freeze, fight, flee, or flight. Sorry, it's not flee, but I call it flee. It's flight or fight. So we are oscillating in between these states of defense mechanisms in our everyday life. We are kind of used to it. But if we really want to connect with our feminine power and in our intuition, because what I'm going to offer you is for you to be so intuitive so that you can recognize these dynamics of power, so that you're not letting people siphon your energy, take energy away from you, try to subdue you, so that you can live happily, authentically, and not, attract these dynamics in your life. Why is this relevant for you? Well, if you've ever experienced abuse, right? If you ever experience, sometimes you don't even realize it, but you can see or feel that somebody's trying to compete with you. And if you want to cancel that energy out, whether it's people competing with you or you competing with people, so that you can live a happy, joyful life from a real awareness of your power, live in tranquility, then this is why this video is important. These are a lot of the dynamics that happen. And as women, Archangel Michael is being strong today. We haven't been taught how, as women, how to protect our energy. Okay. And I'm all about feminine energy, but you need to know how to protect your energy, because I'm hearing there's danger around you. Like people do this, even people you love, people do this unconsciously. But we don't realize that when we start to do this unconsciously, when we're trying to take people's powers away from them, because we see life as a battlefield in a way, or we're not, number one, not trusting ourselves, but we're also losing a part of ourselves. And this is why I was saying at the beginning of the video that if you do not feel like you're losing a part of yourself, you might not even want to hear this. You don't realize this, because when you're trying to take power away from people, you cannot live your most fulfilling life. Somewhere in your energetic field, I'm getting a sense of balance and karma. Karma is something that people really are scared of. It's like, oh, my sins or this. In reality, it's more unhealed energy. There's a dynamic that you haven't learned yet, and you repeat it until you learn it. So this is the thing. When you are trying to siphon energy from people, even when you were the victim in the past, but you choose to stay in this energy of siphoning energy or taking energy from people, even when you're in these form, like somewhere or later, like you kind of keep attracting people who are still trying to do that too. So why do we try to siphon power in the first place? We try to siphon power, we try to get power because somewhere in our lives, somebody made us feel small. They made us feel like we didn't have any power. They made us feel like we have to fight to be seen. I'm hearing they made us feel like we have to be the bigger, quote unquote, dog, because I love dogs. You hear the dog barking. Or we have to be, I'm hearing like the baddest bee, there is, or we have to, but we don't realize that all these energies of fighting and control and needing to have all the power as women also hinder us. They can create karma. They can create hard lessons until we hear them. But what I'm getting to tell you is that this is one of the hardest things that we don't want to hear. And that's why we keep repeating it time and time and time and time again. So over the last 8 years, going to 9, I started this, I remember very vividly, wanting to help women. I remember vividly, I'm going to be very candid with you today. Can I be candid? Like, I started doing this because I wanted to help women find love. And have love, because I grew up in an environment where I saw a lot of the women in my family be broken down, be beaten down, emotionally, mentally, psychologically. In some case, you know what I'm talking about too. I'm not gonna go there totally, but and I just said, why is it that the women in my family are giving, but they're being treated so horribly? It didn't make any sense. But mind you, I want you to look at the hierarchy or the positions there, like dynamics is the word that I'm getting. There are like like the women in my family, but I was like actually the youngest in the family, and I wanted to help them. But over time, I realized I realized too that the same women that I was trying to help were also trying to break me down. Okay. I've said this before. I grew up in a space and environment where my parents were trying to break me down mentally and emotionally and spiritually and psychologically. And we've heard this: hurt people can hurt people. And I don't want to say hurt people, but if you're in a place where you're feeling hurt, and I understand you might be trying to protect yourself, you experience negative energies from people. You might not even realize that you're doing this. But the thing here is that I've had to study the feminine shadow for a while, for years. For over 6 years, I've been devoted to studying the feminine shadow. So I say things that a lot of people don't want to address. I notice that sometimes people don't want to comment. They just send me like a message, and I say a lot of things that people don't want to hear. But I pray that you do hear it, because this is something that's actually going to help you. We're taught to fit in the world in a sense that, because I'm getting Archangel Michael is saying we need to update the way that we protect ourselves as women. I'm getting, even in the corporate space, we feel like we have to dominate. To dominate, okay? Like we don't have to operate in these energies. What we need to is have absolute knowing. We want to be very clear in our knowing, in our clarity, so that we can read energy. That's what our intuition is for. We can read energy, and we can also know how to protect ourselves psychically from psychic attacks, from these dynamics that happen on an everyday life. So how does this start to happen for the feminine? From a very early age, we're taught, wait a minute, I'm getting something. So yeah, make sure that you watch this video until the very end, because I'm gonna offer you a program to develop your psychic knowing, your intuition, your power, and your protection. Because if you really want to receive, okay, if you want to, I'm giving the word wholeness, if you want to manifest from clarity, from true authentic feminine power, and you don't want to be carrying around other people's energies, because that's one of the byproducts of what happens when you unconsciously are taking people's power, or people try to take it away from you. I'm getting, if you want a life of pleasure, of luxury, of happiness, you want to and if you want to have it all from peace, then this is important. And there are things that are important that you need to learn and practice. And like I said, I'm only going to be offering this once. This is something that takes a lot of energy, being very humble with you. I know that there's people out there who do programs, like they say like, oh, calling back my energy. This is deeper than that. We're going to go so deep that I have the capacity to do it in this container. I don't think I'm going to do this again in this way, because it's only for the people that are ready, who are willing to do it. And that's what Archangel Michael was telling me to do it. He's actually asked me to be very firm about this. Archangel Michael has protected my life enormously over the years, saved my life even. And so what I was going to say is, from a very early age, I'm hearing they dumb us down. So part of the way in which like the adults try to, or whatever, where a mom or a dad or whoever tries to, because they're intimidated, they're afraid of power. I'm saying this comes like even from those wars that we used to hear like back in the day. What they do is they try to exert power. Like I'm hearing hearing in Spanish, lastimosamente, unfortunately, some parents see their kids as threats. So you've either experienced like a parent slapping you, like, I'm the parent here, or you have to obey me, and how dare you speak back to me? And do you notice the energy that I'm going? I actually start to enact the energy a little bit. So it's almost like a hierarchy out of force. Like it was like made out of punishments. It's They were trying to subdue you. Okay, it wasn't love, it was trying to subdue you, and they would make jokes and laughs, and how can they even try to speak back to me and stuff like that. So it's very interesting because I lived it. And I want to clarify, when I laugh, sometimes it's just I'm channeling a lot of energy. I'm not laughing at the situation. It's a lot of energy. I don't know how to explain it. It's something that it's almost like a little bit of a buffer on my end, because I can feel the pain so much of the situation. So I try to help myself soothe. I'm getting Archangel Michael is part of my nervous system, trying to soothe myself from these dynamics in the moment. Because I know sometimes when intuitive people talk, they kind of laugh and people don't know it and it comes across the wrong way. But what's happening is that your nervous system is trying to, help, because it is a lot of energy that you're channeling or like you're picking up intuitively in the moment. So basically, you have parents who try to subdue you to the point of terror, right? That you can't speak back, like your parent comes first. Then whether you're a man or a woman, actually. But then when you're a woman, like you're a girl, some of the things that they tell you is, like I said, don't talk back, don't speak back to me. They tell you, you kind of pick up a sense, they might not tell you this, but you might pick up a sense that men know better than women. Men in the family or around you can talk about women like as they are nonsensical, not making any sense. They talk about us like we're dumb. I'm hearing we're stupid. There's something like wrong with us, with our emotions. They tell us that we're too emotional, therefore untrustworthy in a way. How many of you have been, I'm getting to ask, how many of you have been with a partner who thinks that, like your emotions are just, they make no sense? I'm getting almost to the point where it's like they treat you like you're silly, right? But then how many of you also seen over the years women talking about men the same way? Like men are kind of dumb, they don't know what they're talking about. It's a dynamic of power, and society makes it sound really light. But here's what happens when you've been, I'm getting like you've been, I don't want to say that. When people try to have power over you, because I'm getting like they go for your throat chakra. I mean, there's some people that are cutthroat, like you haven't felt like you can express yourself fully. What can happen from that is that you live through the world with a kind of a confused sense. And I try to explain this. One of the number one things that I noticed, that I actually noticed from my first 2 sessions almost 9 years ago with clients, is that women tend to say, I don't know a lot. And the I don't know, or the variations of I don't know, maybe, probably, all of the times where I don't know, or it's almost like you want to stay confused to protect yourself. And that's part of like the freeze response or the flight response, because you're afraid of something. So that blocks your intuition, that blocks your knowing. And this is dangerous in a way, because you want to be able to identify danger, people that are not good for you. But if you started to develop this from a very early age, when you were so young and you needed to protect yourself even from your parents or from family members, I'm getting extended family members, you couldn't talk back, etc. You can go walking through the world not wanting to hear things, not wanting to see things. You might be still trying to protect the person who is your quote unquote caregiver, or the person that you have in front of you, because there's a fear of losing them in the background, or not feeling, because these people were abusing your power so much that they made you feel like you couldn't do life without them, that you needed them, that they didn't allow you to fully be your authentic self. So some of these things are very much repressed in us. Many of you have felt even over time that you don't fully remember your first years of life, which what I've picked up intuitively, I'm speaking intuition, can be a form of the flee or the flight and the freeze response, because it's just best to fit in, or to, but you lose a part of yourself in the process. But if you want to come back, okay, if you want to come back to your truth, to your power, because I'm getting, you kind of sacrifice, kind of, is another form of trying to soften something, or so you sacrifice a part of yourself, or you lost a part of yourself, but you can get that part of yourself back. You want to have full clarity. This is where the intuition comes in, or truth. See, that's truth, right? Intuition, full clarity, full knowing, full trusting, getting full accepting, and I'm hearing full tranquility. No matter what, that you are actually incredibly in tune. I'm getting to tell you, you are psychic. Everybody is naturally psychic, but these threats confuse your psychic awareness, because actually for the course, the program that I'm offering, the angels kept repeating in my head, Nicole, you need to put the word psychic there. Psychic. And I'm getting psychic. So there's a reason for that. We're all naturally psychic, but we either we have some part of ourselves that are dormant because we didn't feel like it was safe. We didn't feel like we would belong if we were more psychic. We were told that we needed to be quiet. We started to pretend like, that graphic of the monkey that has their ears covered and their eyes too, etc. Like you don't want to see, you want to hear things. We've been taught to dim that in many ways, in so many different dynamics. Isn't it interesting? I'm getting like in every sort of field that you would imagine. I'm getting, some of you did not experience this with your parents, but you experienced these dynamics of power in school. A teacher, we've all met that person who always needs to have power, who always needs to be right? But that person who needs to be right could be siphoning energy from you. Could be. I'm telling that they are. The person who has to be right all the time, if you do not know how to handle that energy psychically, they could be trying to take energy from you. Close your eyes. And as a woman, you need to know how to defend yourself from these dynamics, and not try to attack back, but know how to operate in the world through grace, through clarity, through governance, knowing that you're protected, calling into that protection, knowing how to support yourself. We need to learn how to do these things on an everyday basis, just like we shower every day. We need to know how to protect ourselves psychically every day. I am not lying to you. This is happening bringing it to the physical. These dynamics of power, of people who are siphoning your energy because they need to have power in some sort of shape or form, or you need to have power because you've been silenced for so long. There's people who just need to be right. They don't even know what they're talking about, but they need to pretend that they know it. What do you think? If you do not know how to operate around that energy, you might let that person like siphon your energy. Like there's people, out of a sense of reaction from the dynamics that we experience, either you pretend that you don't know anything, this is a scale, of course, to I pretend that I know it all. And one of the things that I have learned about intuition, one of my first principles in life is I don't know what I don't know. But that's not confusion. It means a willingness to learn, a willingness to embody, a willingness to stretch, to receive more, to receive further guidance from source. Clarity. What I'm looking for is clarity. We've all heard about the clears, meaning clear knowing, clear sentience, clear voyance, and clear audience, and there's other ones as well. It means that you have clear listening, clear vision, clear knowing, you have clear sentience, you feel things clearly. So there's people in all areas of life who are trying to siphon power, okay? Like every area, teachers, professionals. I even got to tell you, there's bosses that are cutthroat. There's people who are trying to I'm getting to share with you, there's an example of a client that I worked with once, a couple years ago at the beginning of the pandemic. She was asking her boss for a raise. And I don't know why, but this client grew up around narcissistic people and experiences and parents, okay? People who try to siphon their energy so much that I could tell there was a dynamic when she was asking for the raise, where the boss was siphoning the energy and saying, no, taking the power, because it's a control thing. You don't want to lose yourself in work environments where you feel depressed or reach these things, because sometimes we don't realize how big this is until it happens to us. And then you feel, we've all been there when we have experienced narcissistic abuse, that we kind of lose our sense of self. So I could tell, and that is a lot of work to come back from, if you don't know what you're doing. So, and then how do you navigate through the world knowing that there are these dark personalities out there, because there are people who just choose that path. But you might be a person who has done that out of reactiveness too, but you want to just feel good, you want to feel safe. So the thing is that I noticed that the boss was trying to take her power and talked her down in a way where I could feel like he was taking her energy, and I helped her in that process. And she tweaked like the energy, and she showed up again, and she asked for a different role. And what's interesting is that she was able to operate and just like separate from that energy without, she was still able to operate, you know, like, and just do what she needed to do. And guess what? In this time and form, she did manifest. She did manifest the race that she wanted. It was a big one, okay? With all of the things that she wanted, okay? So we as women are powerful. We need to know how to navigate our power in this way. And we need to, because I'm getting also, if you're very sensitive, when you start to realize a lot of the dynamics of powers that are going on, if you do not have that sense of your own power, you might not know fully how you can do it. So this is why I was guided to do this training, okay? So I hope that this is resonating. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that I'm missing to say. There's so many things that are trying to siphon our power psychically. And then this is how we have dreams and we don't manifest them. Because we could be interacting in the world through this energy of, I have to fight, I have to compete. And the world, it might not totally feel safe to you, or you just settle and you just feel like, I have to fit into this energy. You don't have to. I'm getting heaven to earth. Remember, you don't have to. You just have to know how to protect your energy, take care of your energy, and have clear senses. So I love that. Thank you so much. But it's having clear senses. So what does that mean? Notice that I'm trying to protect my hand a lot, which is very interesting, which I never do because it's chipped. You know, when people say like, I don't want to work with her because their nails are chipped. My nails always chip. I paint my nails and the next day they're chipped. I don't know why. It's been all my life. But this is the thing. You want to know how to protect your energy, but you also want to have clear senses. We're going to be clearing. What I'm going to offer you is a powerful clearing event, so that you can know how to protect yourself psychically and regain your power without having to take people's power. Okay, when you're powerful, you don't need to take people's power, but you might be doing this, or there could be a part of your energy that's still doing this, or there's people or energies that have stressors in your subconscious or in your energy field, like I said, etheric realm, different realms, because remember, our mind is not everything, okay? Some of you, because you feel like it's not tangible enough, you dismiss it, but we are souls first. So there's things where we are going to clear them. You want to have clear seeing, meaning not only we're going to develop your clears, your main clears, at least your main dominant one. But one of the main things that we're doing is, because this is gonna be something that you're gonna do in 3 months, and then you can continue to apply it to develop the other ones. This is something that's actually gonna help you in all your clear senses. But you have to feel safe in the world. So this is the thing. This is why I'm doing this training, and I'm doing it now. It's because women, the feminine energy needs to feel safe. Okay. There's courses out there that I love, you know, that will tell you, this is how you unblock your third eye. It's not just about your third eye. This is about, first and foremost, helping you feel safe in your body. You need to feel safe so that you can sense properly. If you have fears that hijack you, or if a part of, like I said, you lose parts of yourself, you might not totally sense things clearly. There's people that are incredibly talented, but who speak through their trauma. They're like, when I mean talented, like in regards to their intuition, but they still spread some of their trauma there because they're not totally feeling safe yet. God bless them. You know, like we're just learning, right? But you have to feel safe, number one. One of the things that I've mentioned in previous videos, my dad used to always tell me, you're not making any sense, Nicole. You're not being logical. Like, you have to be logical. When I cleared that insult because it was directed as an insult energetically to me, It made me feel like I wasn't going to be understood, like I wasn't like, that I wasn't clear, like it made me feel a lot of different things. It made me feel really dumb. I used to shake when I had to speak. And in fact, the first times that I heard my voice on a speaker, I used to cringe. My whole body used to cringe. But look at what I'm doing now, right? He didn't break my essence. He could have, but I started to do this work. That's was around the time where I started to do this work and I started to speak. But I still had an edge in my system. So that's why we want to have clear senses and from a place of just feeling safe, because that's going to help you tap in more into your natural creativity. So here's what's happening. Like I cleared the whole thing about needing to be logical, and just from clearing that thing, that one thing, my intuition skyrocketed like at least a 35% or more. Like it was night and day. The thing is that we need to feel safe occupying space, energy, but also being in our power to attract exactly the things that we want. We might still have an edge, a fighting stance, where we're not fully trusting the fight response, that we can attract that peace. We are going to attract those things. Why am I hearing the word novelty? I don't know, but I'm hearing novelty thinking. I don't know why I'm getting that, but because I see this so much from women who work in corporate. They tell me I have to be masculine in corporate so men can hear me. I want to say this: you want to feel in your power, your feminine goddess power. Okay, you don't want to ever lose a part of yourself. It's goddess power. Okay, you don't want to lose a part of yourself in work. You don't want to normalize it. You don't want to bring it to different realities and dynamics. And one last example that I wanted to bring for you is, for example, some women want a partner, but because they've experienced these battles of power, like even when I was younger, I used to watch this show that was called Battle of the Sexes. Here in Panama, I don't know what it is like in the States. So, but the thing is that it's like a battle. So unconsciously, in your deepest, this is why I say shadow, you have to be humble to learn this and to explore what's happening on the psyche, because people tell me all the time, I want love. But then when I start talking about the etheric realm and things that are happening there, it's like, oh, I don't know, it's just too much. You want the truth or you don't want the truth? Tell me, you want the truth or you want the truth? This is what I actually wanted to say. You want love, then stop feeling like you have to fight and create those dynamics and clear it out of your unconscious. So this is big because I've seen this. I've seen people who tell me that they want love, but they also have this women who tell me that they have this control energy where they're not necessarily trusting them that much. So they siphon some of the man's energy, or they take some of the man's energy. Mind you, we all know that men can do this to women too. So if there's a man that's listening to this, I'm telling you, like, these dynamics do not help relationships. Dynamics of power in relationships ruin relationships. They ruin it. And if you only know how to operate out of a dynamic of power, guess what? I know what I'm picking up on, but that was a little bit sassy, but I know what I'm picking up on, because there's people who teach you dynamics of power to attract. I'm going to keep it there. So if you are interested in dynamics of power, all right, in a relationship, guess what? That's not long-term feasible, or it's going to help you long-term. You're basically being taught how to take energy away from people. Okay. And what happens when you do that? People resent you and they fight back and they don't know why, or they leave. So it doesn't matter how much you love somebody. If you're trying to siphon and take away their power, sooner or later, they will leave you. They will resent you. They might do things that you do not like on both ends. Dynamics of power do not work in relationships, in happy relationships. They do not work. And if you only know how to operate from dynamics of power, then you're blocking intimacy, you're blocking pleasure, you're blocking receiving. You want to be next to somebody that you feel safe with, and you also want to create a sense of and a feeling of safe in a relationship where both people can thrive, okay? And be their most authentic selves. You want the best for your partner. And if you feel like, Nicole, but that's not realistic, it's not about being realistic. It's about you bringing your energy. I don't want to say to the table, because I'm sensitive to that phrase. You don't have to bring anything to the table, but it's you have to bring your energy to the relationship. It's you. That's what makes you so unique. And why would you stop yourself from thinking that you cannot attract somebody who puts in the same energy as you? You don't have to fit in. You don't have to belong in that way. I'm hearing you don't have to belong in a nonsensical energy where you have to fight and you have to control your partner. You don't have to do that. That's what I got to do now. So I hope that you can see this. I hope that you hear what I'm saying. This is one of the most important messages that I want you to know. If you feel like, oh, but that's not realistic, then you're part of the problem. You're absolutely 1000% part of the problem. Because somebody hurt you, but you're bringing more of that energy. If you want to bring in the right kind of energy, you want to bring peace, you want to have boundaries. I'm not telling you that you're going to lose your boundaries. No, you will actually be able to put the boundaries that you need to by doing this. You need to put boundaries. That's why it's called psychic protection. You need to psychically protect yourself even when people do not like it. You need to have energetic boundaries of what you will allow, what you will engage in. And I don't even want to use the word tolerate, because it's not about tolerating. It's about bliss. What aligns with you? You do not want to engage in these energies where you're either losing a part of yourself, part of your soul, or you're engaging with people who refuse to gain back part of their souls. We've all lost a part of ourselves along the way, but we can get it back. And we need to know how to keep it so that people in these dynamics of scarcity do not take a toll on us, okay? That pains me when I see somebody lose a relationship because they are so unwilling to let go of their dynamics of power, okay, where they have to control and the partner leaves because they have to be right all of the time. It's about willingness and availability to learn. So with that being said, I hope that you can hear everything, and I pray that you receive this. I am offering a one-time opportunity, because this is the thing. I've also had to learn how to have boundaries. I like in this sense. I love what I do. I'm offering you this unique opportunity. The angels actually guided me. Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael and Archangel Chamuel helped me, guided me to create this program for women, okay, for the feminine consciousness. It's a program designed to know your truth so that you're not gaslighted and you're bamboozled, made into think that you're not making any sense, that you're nonsensical, that you're not worth it, so that you know how to be in your power from a place of tranquility and peace, so that you can fully, almost like explode in all of your creative gifts and all your lovability. Like you can just own that lovability, feel positive about yourself, and become so intuitive that it's a lot easier, just incredibly easy for you to pick up the messages that you're receiving from your angels, from your guides, from source, you know, from Mother Earth. Like you can receive the information, you can be able to read energy properly from people, and people are not trying to block away your senses. This is something that you can use in your love life to attract the one, something that you can use in the corporate environment so that you know who to work with. This is somebody that, this is for the people who want to, you know, that you can use also just in family dynamics. In general, I actually remember when I started to really open up all my psychic senses and clarity, I remember that I was introduced to somebody, and something about that person's energy field was not sitting right with me. Like, and I normally like all people, like I really like all people. And I remember vividly how I heard, you know, like in my psychic awareness, like he wants to do X, Y, or Z. And I was like, oh. So, but that was such a specific message in my brain that I was just like, how does that? And I remained quiet, and they were trying to force this person to meet him. They actually made him sit down with me, like at a table at a restaurant when I was eating. And this guy starts talking. But then Source made him reveal himself to me. Like he said, I actually do this for a living. And it was the exact message that the angels were trying to warn me, you know? And let's say that this person was somebody who, how do I say this? I don't know how to say this word in English. let's say somebody takes money away from people, okay, like, and who does it professionally. And this guy actually admitted it to me in the table, and I was like, you could tell that he was kind of shocked, but I said, oh, so you do this then? And I just cut off all communication with him. I remember it was Archangel Michael who helped me. I'm getting to say there's been moments where I've been stopped from going places where, you know, like the angels have really saved my life a million times over. So I want to be able to share these things with you, how you can connect with your angels, how you can feel supported, how you can feel guided in a very clean way. You can detect when somebody's trying to siphon your power. Somebody's trying to take power away from you, take away your knowing. They want to control you. They want to manipulate you. These dynamics happen in all spaces, all of them, all. So, and also you're going to know how to manifest better, how to tap in more into your intuition, how to make the best out of life without letting these dynamics siphon you, make you feel sad, low, depressed, etc. You get to live life joyfully. So this is the only time that I'm doing this program. There's reasons for it. It takes a lot of energy on my end. We are actually addressing the deepest shadow, unconsciousness, okay? This is for people who genuinely want to drop these awareness of like dynamics of power, having to have power. Like, you are powerful, remember. The only reason why we feel like is because we feel like we have to compete, we feel unsafe. I want to help you feel safe, okay? I am offering this to you. I am giving this to you. And I don't have the capacity to do it at another time, okay? Why do I mean this? Because it takes a lot of energy, okay? And I've also had people where they basically do not care about what I'm saying and about my boundaries. And they might think that, oh, I'm just gonna do this with Nicole, like in a private session. This is not just a private session. This program, to build your knowing and your intuition, will take 3 months. We meet on July 14th, we meet on August 20th, and we meet on September 9th, okay? And we meet on those 3 days. Those days are gonna have training and clearing powerful clearing that we're gonna be doing live to help activate your knowing, to help you feel safe knowing and moving through the world. And it also comes with homework and practices and clearings that you're gonna do with your angels in between the spaces so that you build more of your knowing and your awareness of your power. It takes 3 months. It's diligent work. The time is now. And I don't have the capacity to do this in a smaller container. If I ever do it, it would be in a place, in an energy where I would do it like on a different parchment, because this is a lot of energy that I will be moving, okay, and helping you move along. So this is purely for the people who are ready, who feel like this is for them. There is a you can get $111 off if you join now, and also if you join by Saturday, you will be getting an additional clearing that I did with the angels called I Am Clear, that helps you with your clear audience and helps you start that process of developing your natural intuition, okay? There's also the option to join and do it with 2 private sessions with me if you want to have further clearing around your intuition or dynamics of power, so that you feel more confident and you wanted to do this work with me privately. Please honor that this is the space that I'm doing this for this. If you feel guided to do it, I would love to see you there. This is for the people that are ready. I'm not trying to force you or anything like that. This has to do with my capacity, okay? And how I do it, because it is a lot of work, and I have to do it in the space and the container that feels right for me, that I know that I can fully support you, and that it also supports me in return, okay? This is important. Like one of the main messages Archangel Michael is saying, win-win. I'm getting to say this because we sometimes do this when it comes to money. For some reason, I'm getting to say this is going to help you with money. And some people are not going to like this, but if you really want to win energetically, and if you want to receive more intuitive insights on how you can make more money and grow in a really, I'm here, dynamic way, feasible way, energetic way, and the angels can help you understand that we do this sometimes with when we are buying things that are not part of the regular part of the 3D. Like, let's say We might put a lot of value in buying a car, but when it comes to investing in yourself, sometimes we do this, and I'm saying it humbly and I'm saying it with love, and I include myself in this. The most important part is awareness. You don't the shadow comes up and you try to, just get it in the format that you wanted, and you're trying to exert power over the other person. This happens. I've seen people do it. I've done it, and it takes a lot of humility. The angels call me out. So sometimes I'm getting that I need to speak more bluntly or frankly about this. Basically, how do I say this? I've seen this sometimes where, let's say you want a spiritual service. You get really upset the spiritual service should just cost this much, right? And you're trying to say how much it should be. But I ask you to be respectful of the people who are doing spiritual work. I've often seen a lot of people who do spiritual work become overburdened because people want to get everything from them. This is a part of the siphoning the energy. Sometimes you want everything, but that's not a healthy balance of flow of energy. I'm hearing money, Quan. Like, it's not a healthy flow. Like, everything needs to be valued. Everything needs to be valued. And the more you can value time, space, people's boundaries, everything, what they require, all of it, that's only good karma for you. Okay? It's hard to recognize when you are feeling out of your power, but then you're trying to force and trying to get somebody to do something in the way that you wanted to. I don't know who this is for, but I'm saying it out of love because I've had to see that part in myself too. Okay? It's not about control. This is for the people who really want it. So if you want to get the $111 off of it, the rollover price for this training is $888. You will get it for $777 for the early bird price point. And if you join by Saturday, you will be getting the I am clearing, basically. And I'm really excited. You're going to be getting additional clearing. You're going to be getting so many different elements to just boost your intuition, but also be in your power, be sovereign. Last thing that I want to say is, and there's also the option too, if you wanted to do it with 2 additional private sessions with me. And if this is resonating, please let me know, like, comment, share. This is important because we want to know how to operate in the world, and we want to be able to see it. And I'm actually really happy that I can offer this because the angels know how much I used to struggle with this. I never wanted to lose parts of my essence. That's the most important piece for me. I can see how these dynamics make us lose a part of ourselves. My hope and my intention is that this resonates with you. And I know that I can help you live your most authentic life and be able to enjoy your life romantically, make money and everything from an awareness of your power, you enjoying yourself and enjoying your gifts. I hope that this resonates with you. I'll talk to you soon.